Well, welcome to the Homeland Security Department. Joining me now is the new Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, you obviously had the role of senator. You've seen Cory Booker and others talk about this department and what they see wrong with it. As you step into this job, how do you see it now?
Well, Cory is an acquaintance that I have got to know quite a bit. Unfortunately, what you see from a lot of Democrats right now is political theater, because what they've done is they've defunded Department of Homeland Security. I mean, that's like defunding the Department of War, right? Department of War takes care of us abroad. Department of Homeland Security, we take care of everything that is in our backyard. And so what they're saying isn't actually what they're actually trying to do, because when we start talking about ICE agents are simply trying to enforce the policies that Congress passed. As Secretary, Brett, I don't get to pick and choose which policies I enforce. I enforce all the policies that Congress put on my plate. And how we do that is, well, we're a nation of laws, so we simply enforce the laws. If Cory and some of our Democrats want to change it, then let's have immigration reform. Let's seriously talk about what we're doing. But instead, they're wanting to defund ICE, and they're wanting to defund our Customs and Border Patrol. So essentially what they're saying is we don't want to deport any of our felonies or our felons or the criminals that are here that came underneath the Biden administration, and they want to open our border completely. And I don't know how we get past that, because at the end of the day, I've got a job to do, and I want to do it.
You have a unique perspective because you were up on Capitol Hill. Now you're in the job you're in. But it does not seem like there's an end to this funding battle in sight. This is the longest shutdown for the Department of Homeland Security ever.
Right. Well, longest shutdown in government history ever. And we're defunding the Department of Homeland, which is, like I said, this is like defunding the Department of War. And it's putting our mission at risk. We have some very challenging times right now. And how we get past this is that we got to put the partisan bickering aside and say what's best for America. Right. What's best for moving forward?
That's not just Democrats and Republicans, right? I mean, there is a split in the Republican Party. The Hill writes it this way: Republican divisions Trump's detachment stymie GOP efforts to reopen DHS. Within the House, Speaker Johnson and his leadership team haven't found a formula for containing the rebellious conservative wing. And from the White House, President Trump's mixed messages have thwarted progress at crucial moments when a breakthrough appeared at hand. You think that's fair?
Well, I wouldn't say rebellious, conservative or right wing. What it is there's a problem with what the Senate has proposed, and it's a fundamental issue that is very difficult for some Republicans to get past. Is the bill that has been proposed out of the Senate that was passed with unanimous consent? It essentially, and I say essentially, defunded ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. But the reason why we made that play call is because we want to do it through reconciliation. The reason why the president and I had spoke literally for over 5 hours in the Oval Office about the best path to do this with is because September 30th is when the fiscal year ends again. We are afraid that the Democrats will try to hold the country hostage again and shut us down. And so if we can take Customs and Border Patrol off the table and put it through reconciliation and fund it for 3 years, then we don't have to worry about the Democrats playing this political theater. And so when we talk to this right side of the Republican Party, they just have a hard time saying, "You want me to vote for a bill that zeroes out those two agencies?" Like, yes, but right behind it, we're going to fund it through reconciliation. It's a fundamental process. So some people want to do reconciliation first. Why we try before we do the other 20 agencies? I get that. The problem is that I run out of money. I can only, if it wasn't for the president's executive orders, I wouldn't have any of my agencies paid right now, right, or employees paid.
So as you step in this job, obviously you come from someone who was removed from this job and her team. How is this going to be different under you? Well,
I never worked with Christie, Secretary, no. But my management style is I empower individuals. You know, I have 22 agencies, what we call them components, 22 component leads. My job is empower them to do their jobs. How do I make sure that they have the tools and the assets they need and the manpower they need to be able to go out and deliver the mission that Congress and the President has tasked us with.
You said during your confirmation hearing that your goal for DHS would be that in 6 months, that DHS is not in the headlines every day.
That's right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, right now we get more correspondence from media than the White House does.
More than the White House?
More than the White House does. And so,
because of the controversy surrounding
I think so, because it's become such a political hotbed. And really, why is Department of Homeland such a political hotbed? All they're doing is trying to keep our streets safe, trying to keep our nation secure, trying to keep bad actors from having terrorist attacks on the homeland. It should be something we all get behind. And so restoring the good people, understanding there's everybody here is dedicated to keep your state as safe as my state.
But
and
Mr.
so
Secretary, you know the issue here is that you have states and cities that are sanctuary states
right.
and cities. And that's part of the issue. It's part of the problem. We saw it in Minnesota. How do you get around that?
Well, I believe sanctuary cities is not lawful. I don't think they're able to do that. And so we're going to take a hard look at this. Just one area we may take a hard look at is some of these cities have international airports. If they're a sanctuary city, should they really be processing customs into their city? I mean, seriously, if they're a sanctuary city and they're receiving international flights, and we're asking them to partner with us at the airport, but once they walk out of the airport, they're not going to enforce immigration policy, maybe we need to have a really hard look at that, because we need to focus on cities that want to work with us.
So you're saying that big cities that are sanctuary cities that have a big airport, they might lose their customs?
Well, I'm saying we're going to have to start prioritizing things at some point. Right now, remember, the Democrats are wanting to defund Customs and Border Patrol. Well, who processes those individuals when they walk off the plane? And so I'm going to have to be forced to make hard decisions. Who's willing to work with us and partner with us? Once again, I'm not going outside the policies that Congress passed for me, and we're not trying to push those, but we're saying you got to partner with us.
Some of the criticism is that the plan talked about was to go after illegal aliens with criminal histories or deportation orders, but that it drifted and that there were more and more people being rounded up that didn't fall under that category. Where are you in this scale of what your priority is?
Well, we're still going after the most egregious felons and criminals out there. But at the same time, when you have a final order or you haven't showed up to your court dates because you claimed asylum and you didn't ever show up for asylum, or you don't fit that category anymore, you're still in the country legal. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to necessarily be hunting you every single day, but as we're doing immigration enforcement, we also have situations where local law enforcement picks up individuals that aren't in this country legally. When they do, we're also deporting those. If you're in this country illegal, you have a duty to self-deport, and we have a mechanism for that. We will actually give you money and pay for your flights for you to self-deport. And if you do it, you can come through the system legally. Because, we have naturalization ceremonies 5 days a week here inside the United States, except on holidays and weekends, that people that went through this system legally did it the right way now become legal citizens or legal permanent residents. And so we're saying go through the system the right way and we'll help you. But if you do it illegally, I have a duty to enforce those laws, and if we catch you, then we're going to deport you.
Do we have numbers on deportations and self-deportations?
The last number that I've seen is we've deported either deported or self-deported for over the last since President's term is just shy of 3 million.
3 million.
Right.
You said you'd like to be a congressman. You really like to be a senator, but this job?
I love it.
You love this job.
I love it.
Why is that?
I feel like I get to be a CEO again. Right. My wife and I got in business when we were barely 20 years old. And I absolutely enjoyed it. I loved the employees. I loved having something to go after every single day, not just one of 100 or one of 435. But when I'm here, my chairman of the board is President Donald J. Trump, which is really neat. And then when you walk into a building like this and you get the job of protecting the homeland, and you have 270-some thousand employees that you get to work with every single day that are highly dedicated, the best word I would describe is it's awesome. And I've had a smile on my face ever since the president called me.
It's a nonstop job. You have 6 kids. You got a big family.
Right.
They're ready for this haul?
Oh, we're all in it together. It's a change, right? I mean, as soon as the president nominated me, I went down the steps, and there's cameras all over there, and I jumped in my Jeep and was driving it back to my office, and immediately I get a phone call from the Sergeant at Arms and the Director of Secret Service, and said, "Sir, go straight to the car or garage and park it, and give your keys to somebody else."
You're not driving anymore.
I love to drive.
Yeah.
My team didn't drive me; I drove myself. And it's different, right? We have at the house, we have a whole lot of people around the house now. I'm actually a pretty private person. My wife says I'd be a hermit if I wasn't in this position, but it's worth it.
Finally, this is a different job. You obviously were briefed about a lot of threats as a senator, but in this job, since you've been here, what keeps you up at night?
I would say nothing keeps me up at night. I can sleep because I know we have such quality and capable individuals working. But you do get exposed to a whole lot more. The programs that I have got read into, the real threats that are facing the nation.
And it's significant.
They're significant, absolutely, which is why this is the worst time we could possibly be defunding Department of Homeland. But because I know the amount of the quality of people we have working within all the components of the Department of Homeland Security, I know they've got the watch. No one can outwork me, and that's the same thing in this job. No one will outwork me. I understand this is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job, 365 days a year, and I accept it and I love it. But I know that I can't do anything more than what I'm doing now, and I'll make our homeland the hardest target possibly. But at the same time, I've got to be funded to do it because I got to pay individuals.
Well, Mr. Secretary, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.